Alright, Nerd Army, get ready. It's going to be a bumpy one today. As always, I'm Nerdy number 3, and today I'm going to do a theory on the movie Coraline. Coraline is everyone's childhood favorite movie. Okay, maybe just mine. Don't judge me, okay? That came out in 2009. It is an amazing stop-motion animation that adds up childhood innocence and a fearful person that takes the innocence away. If you haven't seen this movie, spoilers are coming at you and coming fast. The movie Coraline is about a girl named Coraline Jones who moves into this new housing complex called the Pink Palace. She meets a boy named Wybie Lovat, who is the grandson of the owner of the Pink Palace.
I'm Wybie Lovat.
Wybie?
Short for Wyborn. Not my idea, of course.
And learns she is the first child in a very long time to live there.
Surprised she let you move in. My grandma, she owns the Pink Palace. Won't rent to people with kids.
What do you mean?
She starts to explore her new home and finds a tiny little door that has been bricked off. Later on at night, Coraline finds the door open and goes through to find a parallel universe where she has another mother and another father. Except there's something different about these parents. They have buttons as eyes. Throughout the movie, we see Coraline flip between the two different worlds and realize that she likes the other parents better than her original. When she asks to stay in the parallel universe, the other parents tell her that in order for her to stay, she will have to sew buttons into her eyes. Of course, this terrifies Coraline, because why wouldn't it?
You're not sewing buttons in my eyes!
Oh, but we need a yes if you want to stay here.
Then she tries to go back to her home, to find she's trapped there. The other mother decides to punish Coraline for not listening and puts her in a room with no doors or windows.
You may come out when you've learned to be a loving daughter.
Coraline finds 3 ghost children with buttons as eyes, and they explain that the other mother is a bad person trying to only take the souls and the eyes of the innocent, naive children. She tries in all her power to escape, and when she finally does, she finds that her original parents have been taken. So she decides to go back to the other world. She sets off to find the missing eyes of the ghost children, as well as her parents. She realizes that the only way that she could find them without the other mother cheating her out of it was to act like it was a game and raise the stakes.
Why don't we play a game? I know you like them.
Everybody likes games.
She challenges her to an exploration game to find the eyes and her parents.
My real parents.
Too easy.
And the eyes of the ghost children.
Huh.
She told the other mother that she would stay if she didn't find the eyes and her parents on time.
If I lose, I'll stay here with you forever and let you love me. And I'll let you sew buttons into my eyes.
Of course, the other mother agrees, and Coraline goes on a race against time to find all of the eyes and her parents. She ends up finding all of the eyes, but right before she runs out of time. The other mother confronts her, and she finds out that her parents are stuck in a snow globe on the mantle. Then the other mother turns into this weird spider person concoction. It is extremely terrifying for young children. Coraline barely escapes, somehow, to the original world, then becomes extremely upset that she didn't rescue her parents in time. She sees one of her snow globes, the same snow globe they were in, was broken and becomes worried. Suddenly, like clockwork, her parents walk in as if nothing had happened, but Coraline knew that something had. Then they all had a gardening party and they lived happily ever after. Now what can I possibly make a theory of in this movie? What am I thinking? Well, there are so many options for this movie to do a theory on, and I'm gonna do one that is so minimal that I have never seen anyone do it. Normally people do what happens after the end of Coraline, or was Coraline dreaming? But I refuse. My theory is more about what happens to the normal world when she goes to the other world. Does time freeze? Well, let me explain what I believe happens. So in total, we see Coraline go back and forth between the worlds about 4 or 5 times, every time better than the last to draw her in. If you notice, the last time she goes there, it is during the daytime, and her parents return, not remembering or noticing any time difference. Well, what if they don't notice it because time literally slows down while she is in the other world? She could be there for what feels like an entire day, but really only be gone for a few minutes or hours. Now, what explanation can I have for this? Well, in the first time we see Coraline go through the door and enter into the other world, it is during the nighttime. If I was to estimate around what time, it would be about 2 hours or so after her bedtime. I got this estimate by reasoning that Coraline is around 11, putting her bedtime at around 8 or 9, and her parents were already in REM, a deep sleep, which doesn't happen until around 90 minutes after one falls asleep. Hence why they don't hear her get out of bed in the middle of the night. So if time would have continued normally, based on the amount of time we see Coraline spend in the other world, it would have been around midday by the time she goes back to the original world. She spends what seems to be an entire night at the other world, plus falls asleep there. Then she wakes up at home the next morning as if she's been there all night. So the times definitely don't match up. That means that either time slows down in the original world or time quickens in the other world. The reason that I believe that time slows in the original world is because if time had quickened in the other world, the 2 days that she spends there after learning about the buttons would last about a full day or so. This solution simply doesn't make sense since the parents themselves even admit they don't notice anything happens. So time must slow down in the original world in order for the parents to believe that it is the same time they come home on the same day as when she left. The tunnel between the doors is literally a tunnel between time, and it is the thing that slows down time, especially in the original world. It causes Coraline to have a difference in times when it feels like the same amount of time has passed. This explains most of the timing throughout the movie. But am I right about the time differences? Is Coraline a time manipulator? Or is it the tunnel that manipulates the time sequences? Is there even a time difference between the worlds at all? Well, there's so many questions and so little time. If you find a tiny door in your wallpaper, don't go through it. It may just lead to your untimely demise. Until next time, Nerd Army, and if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like for all the winged stuffed dogs portrayed in this film. Curse you, death. Remember, my theories are just that, theories. See you later, and remember to subscribe.